Sam Seder, Emma Vigeland, the fun half of the Majority Report. Joining us now, Tim Heidecker from the Office Hours Live show. And I'm sorry,
are we clashing or matching today, Sam?
Well, we did. I guess we're a little bit clashing. That's okay.
You're matching, but the clashing will come later once you guys hash out all of your differences.
I just want to start off by saying that I know that Tim, you and I have had somewhat of a contentious history in the past. And for a long time, I just tried to ignore you and everything that you were putting out. And I mean, I don't like to get caught up in those type of like petty little things. And, you know, a lot of people write in, they're like, oh, Office Hours Live. That's very similar to Break Room Live, which you did 10, 12 years ago. And I ignore that type of thing. It's not, that type of stuff is not.
What a preamble.
It's not that important to me. But what is important to me is good journalism. And do we have a clip of this? We just want to show what you did and how impressive this was.
I mean, it's almost.
No, they don't have any.
It's a forensics.
They don't have anything ready.
No, we have it. We have it.
Let's pop it up. This is
the way you're able to enhance the audio in the room. It's like a technological journalistic achievement.
Right. Yeah, let's pop this up and just remind people what
his TimCast broadcast while he was talking to Donald Trump Jr. Let's take a look and see what happened, and we can discuss what we think might have happened here
since the last time.
Before that question, I'm going to do something I've never done on the show before. I'm going to leave. I'm actually feeling really, really sick, but we've got some awesome friends. I don't know if Phil or Josie or somebody wants to jump in and take my seat.
Why don't you guys both come up for a minute?
I'm feeling real sick.
I'm really? Bathroom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait, back this up. Look at Ian.
Okay. Now, that was, I mean, I'm interested in like how your team found that. I mean, because it really. Go ahead.
I'll tell you, I am a fan of the show. I watch the show. I don't think I watch it every day, but there's a thing. First of all, YouTube is got me algorithmically trapped in the Tim Pool universe, and somehow on the West Coast it hits at a certain hour. When I happen to find myself kind of, after dinner, I go in my room and I just want to chill out, look at some stuff on the internet. And there it is. It's live. TimCast is happening. And I often pop in. I like, I mean, they're, I was going to say deplorable. I guess I could say they're terrible people, but they're kind of fascinating to watch. Do you find that? I mean, you guys get caught up watching them all the time. It's a great show.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tim, I've been to the belly of the beast there. I've been to the skate park. It's the
compound.
The compound. They all, live and work together seemingly, it's in West Virginia.
I want to know so much about that.
I could tell you. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they all live at the compound? Because
it's unclear to me.
Who are these other people?
But there's like a lot.
Did they move there to be a part of the show?
I walked through the bottom of the basement. There's pinball machines, and there's games. Like if like a teenager kind of imagined what a house would look like for them and all their friends. There's a whole wall of signed caricatures of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Steve Bannon. And then the studio is lit like a grocery aisle, and and the bathroom is behind a secret trap door that is very heavy and it's hard to open. And that's probably where, your team was able to enhance the audio so effectively for that video. You probably got the echoes from that safe room.
I believe was them in Iowa. Not to get too picky with you, but
yeah, I'm sorry.
This is what the kind of journalism that I think is what I'm willing to overlook a lot of the other stuff about Tim.
Exactly.
To have him on to talk about.
I mean, there was Tim with Don Jr. himself. That was I don't know if you could capture that in the clip, but
yes,
Tim was talking with Don Jr. and what a get. I mean, how exciting. One generation away from the man himself, and he couldn't hold it together. He couldn't have. I think if I was in that position, I would have just squeezed.
through it.
You know, I just pushed through it.
Or just sit through it.
Take
I
a
mean,
break.
like let it happen, and just pretend, play it off a little bit.
Or go, you know what? We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in a few. And then go relieve yourself.
What do you
Clean
think?
up.
I mean, Tim, because obviously you spent a lot of time studying this. What do you think was going on? I mean, do you think this was like, was it nerves that Tim Pool was going through? Do you think, I mean, you're, I've
thought about
you're
this.
a performer, and I think, and I don't know if you're a doctor per se, but I'm sure that at various times you've worn like a doctor's smock. What is your sense of what was going on biologically there?
Well, from what I understand from what I've heard, and what people have been saying, is that he's not taking good care of himself hygienically.
I see.
And that leaves you, but I don't know. I mean, this is just what people are saying. This is what I've heard. This is what.
Don't ask him to reveal his sources. It's bad form.
Yeah, because you can't. There's people that are close to that situation. I think would be put in jeopardy if they were revealed, if those sources were revealed. But these guys, there's a history of anti-vax, anti-mask perspective. And I think that's starting to affect their general hygiene and their general cleanliness, and sort of a repudiation of germ theory, if you will, the idea
of course,
shall we say, I don't want to say that he's not washing his hands, but
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it sounds like. And
then you become susceptible to bacteria. You become susceptible to all kinds of diseases. And we may be seeing the beginnings of a bigger, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I have played doctors in various sketches.
Right.
But you kind of draw some conclusions I think are fair to draw, that things are going to get a lot worse.
I mean, particularly in their
health-wise,
their compound. I mean, we know what happened to Heaven's Gate. Now that was a different situation. Obviously, the Heaven's Gate cult. And
we're getting a peek into the clip that you showed last week about the cleanliness of the compound itself. Now, Emma, you didn't detect any disarray there. I guess you would have mentioned it, but we hear talk
Did they even
of
have
bacon
facilities
grease.
in the bathroom to wash your hands?
They did. I mean, and Tim was actually quite thoughtful, and he put makeup out for me and told me before the show that I had. That's a true story. There was some makeup in there for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was
for the shine from the lights.
Yeah, I was a female guest, and he wanted to put, maybe that's why it was more clean than it typically is. But yeah, I mean, it's that. Then afterwards, when he wanted me to hang out and I didn't, it just because I didn't love the vibe at the compound. Maybe I was picking up on some of what you figured out, Tim, and that's when he said I was a pedophile.
Well, I wanted to
called
get
me
to
a
that.
pedophile too.
You both were accused of being pedophiles, and I don't know how Tim can make that conclusion. It seems a little bit spurious to me. I mean,
slanderous.
Yes, slanderous. I think that's certainly arguable. It does feel like Tim is under a lot of duress these days. But before we get to that, I want to ask you one other thing, because I know that you've also probably played a psychiatrist in sketches, certainly a therapist, and in many ways, what you do provides a therapeutic relief for people. So I think you're qualified to answer this question. What's going on with his co-host Ian?
I'm glad you brought him up.
Wanting to follow him to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, did we hit that hard enough?
Yeah, I think we should. Can we play that again?
It's worth checking it out again.
Because there are courtier relationships in certain, that you read about in certain times. There certainly were eras where the boss of a certain situation would never go to the bathroom without someone helping.
I told you of the example of medieval kings. The top servant for kings was the one that would use his hand to wipe the king's ass, because the king was above wiping his own butthole with his own hand.
Well, also, if you're not washing your hands in a facility like, for instance, their studio, invariably Tim's going to shake hands with different people, and so maybe, I don't know. But let's watch this clip again here. This segment where Ian, his sort of like his Pancha Villa, I guess, in a way, says,
Boy Robin.
Yeah, I will follow you into the bathroom for some reason.
Very
Ian's having a
What's
real...
Ian freaks like the choice Ian makes here. Ian is Tim's little toady here. Watch this.
Or Josie or somebody wants to jump in and take my seat.
Why don't you guys both come up for a minute?
I'm feeling real sick.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
I'm gonna go. Why is
Wait, he wants to jump
Ian
on
going to the bathroom?
He doesn't want to be alone with DJ.
Don Jr. looks scared too.
Yeah, and so Don actually is kind of. I think he's fairly pleasant here, but take a look.
I tried. I got the drink because I'm like, I just got punched in the gut.
Phil, you want to sit in for like 10 minutes or so? I'm gonna go to the bathroom and listen to you guys, and then I'll come back.
What? Listen to what? You haven't done it.
Wait, you're the one supposed to stay.
Yeah.
I like.
Okay.
Ian.
I'm
gonna go to the bathroom and listen to you guys. I think that came out wrong, or has he got a long extension cord on those headphones? What is the listening and bathroom?
Is he like doesn't want to, I mean, there's two ways to look at this. One way could be that Ian doesn't want the guys filling in to feel self-conscious, and that they would if Ian was around. Now, it sort of begs the question, isn't there another place to go besides the bathroom to not be there when they're doing that? Or is he going there to help Tim? I mean, do you think it's possible that...
Got to hold the beanie.
Do you think it's possible that Tim
I think he's
doesn't...
going to prep this. I'm sorry. I think he's going to prep the space. I think there's a fair amount of prep that goes into the relief that Tim is about to experience.
Is it... Do you think that this is a regular occurrence? Like, do you think that it's possible that Tim never goes to the bathroom without Ian having, set up the situation? It just so it happens that in this situation, there was an urgency that isn't always present.
Sure. I think we're looking at a peek into their normal routine, but we because of the bacterial infection that we can only assume is occurring due to poor hygiene. Again, this is just based on what I've heard. I can't say for sure what's going on, but I think yes, on a regular basis, if Tim's going to relieve his bowels, I don't think it's something he needs Ian for bladder issues. Let me just get out in front of that one.
Well,
I think Tim has demonstrated he's capable of. I'm sorry?
AIM? I mean, it's not necessarily bladder associated, but it could be AIM.
Or to strap him in.
Could be modesty issues. The Queen of England used to have somebody precede her to the bathroom and drop a banana to make sure you couldn't hear anything fall into the water. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I suspect, or maybe just, he clears out people so that Tim can go in private. Has Tim referenced this since that happened? I mean, that's got to be, I'm curious.
I have to look into that. I don't know if it's something he'd want to return to. I don't know if he returned that night. Was that the last we saw of him that night? My reporting kind of ended on the subject minutes after that clip.
Yeah.
You have to understand.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
Tied up with other things.
And sometimes a topic becomes just too hard to wade through at one point. Is it your sense, let's pull out, because like you say, you are an observer of Tim Pool. I know that you both have played a critic of video and film and television, and also at various times also I think you've made analysis of things. So let me ask you this. do you think there's something going on with him? Like, I mean, is this part, was this an isolated event, or do you think that there's something more, because he's had like explosive bouts of anger lately?
Yeah, I think he's at a breaking point. I think the beanie's about to pop. If there's not a civil war or a world war in the next 3 to 6 months, he's done. Like, what's the point? I mean, he's been gearing for this. He's been calling for, I don't know, what do you think he wants? Do you think he wants a civil war or a world war more? It's hard to tell. The froth in his mouth when he talks about civil war is pretty palpable, but he also gets pretty excited about the idea of a World War III, of course.
Well, is that new? Is World War III new? Because Civil War, he'd been ramping up the idea. Well, before he said, Trump was going to win, what was it, like 48 states or something like that? 49?
Yeah.
It was quite possible. Now there was also, civil wars happening. It feels like maybe when I spoke to him, he had a lot of opinions about Ukraine funding, but didn't have anything to say about Israel funding. So he's maybe now
that.
He's learning a little bit more about the world at this point, and that's perhaps his more pressing concern is World War III now. Now that he's become a little bit more foreign policy focused.
He sees it. He sees the chess pieces coming into play, and he was there was a clickbait video of his a couple days ago. When they launched the first retaliation or whatever response to the attack on our the soldiers that were killed. Yeah, he says we're hours away from World War III.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
that was 4 days ago. So
you want to keep watching in case he's
it's
right.
not like you can't. I mean, it's not like you can't count time in hours, even if it adds up to years and years
thousands
and years
of hours,
and decades and hundreds and millions of hours. I mean, that's conceivable. But he also sounds like there's two dynamics that seem to be going on. One is he seems to be really tired of doing his afternoon show, is becoming a burden. And the other is, it sounds like there's someone trying to sabotage him. I mean, I wanted to bounce this theory off of you, because I know that at some time maybe you've played law enforcement in a sketch, or maybe a lawyer or a prosecutor of some sorts.
Yes.
And so you're definitely qualified to make this assessment. But if someone's pouring bacon grease down your plumbing, they're trying to undermine the infrastructure of your building. Now, there's a lot of different things that can happen. You block up the septic. You're unable to relieve yourself, which apparently is a problem for him. Mm-hmm. And it cuts into the hygiene, but then it also could somehow inhibit the water supply. My point is there someone on that compound who is possibly either trying to poison Tim, or just is there subterfuge going on?
Look, let's look at any given night on the TimCast. You've got 4 to 5 people surrounding Tim, right? There's usually, I would say, 4 people. Sometimes there's 5 people there. And compare that to national averages of FBI informants. I mean, statistically, one of those 5 is an FBI informant. I don't know if it's Ian or the muscle man with the big beard,
right,
or the guy with the funny T-shirts, or the rotating list of women he has on the show. That I don't know who it is, but it's statistically very, very probable that one of them is an FBI informant.
And do you think that one of them could be trying to undermine
sabotage?
His
yeah, well, that's what FBI
preparation.
Sam,
this is sort of like COINTELPRO. This is like COINTELPRO type of situation.
Yeah, it's a black hat op. Black hat op. Black beanie op.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the beanie. We've mentioned already that you've probably played a psychiatrist or a therapist. What, based upon that, having played one of those characters, in real life, what would one of those people, do you think, how they would assess his compulsive wearing of that hat. It doesn't seem like. Now, I want to be fair. I've come across kids like this in elementary school, and certainly, following COVID, there's a lot more anxiety amongst young children. But he seems to be older than like an elementary school kid. What is your assessment of that, based upon your having played characters like that in a sketch?
I don't know if I can approach that from a character place from my journalistic work on this and the sources I have. It's not all pretty under there, I think, is what's going on. I think from what I understand, and again, I don't have any, I can't verify this. This is coming from secondhand sources. There were some very, very scary negative side effects from some, I think it was Roman, or it was a product that an over-the-counter hair growth supplement. I don't know if I don't think it was Roman. I think it was probably something a little more untested, I should say. And apparently let's just say it's not something you'd want to look at for a long period of time, whatever's happening up there.
Wow.
That's just what I've heard from some people that are fairly intimate with the situation.
I mean, it sounds like you have at least one or two sources there. I would never press a journalist on naming their sources or something like that.
I just couldn't, Sam. I just couldn't, and you understand that.
No, I get it. I've interviewed many reporters in the past. All right, one other question. What's Greg like?
Is he one of the guys on the show sits around Tim? Which Greg are you talking about?
No, I'm telling you, we got a bunch of Greg heads around here.
Greg is like my Ian.
I see. Okay.
I love Ian. I feel bad. I feel like someone's going to hurt Ian at that table, though. I mean, the more he pipes in
my
with some
sympathies
wacky
lie with
stuff.
Ian as well.
He's wound a little bit tight, I think.
My sympathies lie with Ian, and
What was Ian like in person, Emma?
I never met Ian.
He wasn't there?
I walked past him in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wasn't there for the interview. I saw him coming in as I was exiting, which is the point where I didn't see the full skate park that Tim was upset about. But when I was exiting, I think I said this before, there were other guys around, because there's like 15 people. Or
the boys.
There's a lot of people there at any given time.
Boish.
And they were pranking another one of the boys. Pranking by putting a Ukraine flag on the bumper sticker, because it's funny to support Ukraine. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
When all this goes away, though, will they stay in West Virginia? I mean, there's just so many questions, Sam, Emma. I don't know how we're going to get to the bottom
country
of this.
roads might take them
I got to
home.
go to the compound.
Yeah. Ian, I am very sympathetic with. I think that, and also it would be nice to have someone who, it would be nice to have someone go to the bathroom before I am and just make sure that it's
okay in there.
Ready to go.
There's paper towels. There's toilet paper.
Drop a banana. But do you want to, Tim? Do you want to plug anything? Your 10 steps to unlocking your source code, is that coming out soon?
It's we're still working on that. That's the beta edition without anything inside yet. But yes.
I want to also ask you about your Patrick Bet David. Have you been on his show yet?
God. No, but did you want? I mean, dare I give Bill Maher a compliment? He sat down with Bill Maher for Club Random. It's fantastic because I don't think Bill Maher knows who. Like, there's so many people who don't know who the hell Patrick Bet David is. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he sits down with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher clearly doesn't know who he is. He's just like, you got to get this guy on the show because he's got a lot of hits or something. And Bill Maher shows him such little respect, and it's pretty funny because it's just like, who the hell are you? Like, what is the deal with this guy? He's such a clear huckster.
That seems like a hard thing to watch because I don't know who
they're both.
to.
I know, but
who to dislike more.
But Mar is it's very funny to give Patrick Bet-David the energy of like Mar literally says,
who is this guy?
As he winds up to talk about, I don't know, vaccines or something, he's like, oh, this is going to be stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Mars dismissiveness you captured quite well in your retelling of it in when you had that contentious interview with Fred Armisen. But did you see the news yesterday that Kanye did a 2-hour episode with Bill Maher on Club Random that will never see the light of day, according to Bill Maher? So
he's just going to shelve it. It's like the day the clown cried.
I desperately want that footage. Like, I would like to see the interaction between those two people because
it's probably horrible.
And like the day that the clown died, they actually did it in a backdrop of the Holocaust. It says Mach Ben Frey, I think, right above the set. That was also a weird choice for him to do.
The Patrick Bet-David show is quickly overshadowing the Tim Pool experience for me. You got to get into it because there's this guy, Vinny. Do you know Vinny?
Oh, I've been in the vault.
Oh, that's right. You did.
I was down in Florida in the vault with these guys.
Vinny, he gets real agitated real quick.
Well, that's his job. He's
Which
the one.
one's Vinny?
He's the smart one.
Oh,
No,
he's
no,
the
He's the one that
yeah,
looks and
the
sounds
super
like
smart
the
guy.
word Vinny.
The one
Like,
that
he
really got
looked-
upset with Sam is Adam Sosnick.
Oh.
Sosnick is the guy on the left with the blazer. Vinny's the
but
guy
he's
on
sort of the
Vinny was
Ian
guy
of
on the
that
right
show.
of you.
Oh, the guy.
Yeah, Sosnick's
like
kind of
the
the
Ian
Ian
of
of
that show.
PBD.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the one with the lip fillers.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
he's
Vinny
like the
didn't say
centrist.
much when I was
Vinny didn't
there.
say much when you were on, but Sosnick was really not happy with you for the most part.
That's it. That's
You got to watch Ian. You got to watch Vinny and Steve Schmidt go at it. It's fantastic. Veins, like you see
Really?
Vinny's veins. He's sweating, and he can't handle it.
Is
He's
he the
flipping
enforcer
out.
there?
Yeah,
I
he's just
feel
the-
like I probably physically intimidated him when I was there, and so he didn't say much.
He wears like today's man wedding suits with like just the vest, like the shirt, the tie, and the vest, but no, like that look. It's fantastic. They're fantastic. I love them all.
Well, I hope you get invited down there into the to the vault. They do shoot it in a vault. It's a former like bank in like sort of like a strip mall-y type of thing.
You gotta get in the mindset.
There's a lot of, I will say this, to walk into their facility and to realize like this guy has poured a tremendous amount of money into this as an investment, and it's unclear to me how he thinks it's going to pay off.
Well,
No,
it's value
it's clear to me.
It's not just entertainment; it's valuetainment.
Right. It has value, and it's just unclear to me. Like, I feel like I'm curious as to what point he says, like, okay, 50 million was enough to put in to see if I could jumpstart this. That was an interesting experiment.
There's this moment on Club Random where they're talking about Biden, and Bill Maher's like, I'm going to vote for him. Like he's not my favorite guy, but blah blah blah. And Patrick's like, let me ask you this: like, are you a results-oriented guy? And Bill Maher's like, sure, yeah. Why wouldn't I? Like everybody is. Like, what are you talking about? No, I don't like it when things work out.
Yeah.
No,
I don't
he
do
just
anything
gets
for
called
any
out
purpose.
for all those buzzwords. It's amazing.
The whole shtick is like everything that you hate about like a corporate presentation that you might have had to attend, but like funneled into political discourse. And it's like none of these things really fit.
Yeah. That's the segue to my plug. Is the new season of On Cinema is currently streaming on the High Network. It's HEI network.tv. And we were heavily inspired this year by the Valuetainment gang. I think you'll see it in our set design.
I've seen that in the thing in the book. What is this High Network? What is that? I don't get it.
It's not that hard. It's our streaming service for On Cinema. And,
no, but why the High Network? I don't get
that's
it.
my name. HEI. Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty
That's
much
just the first part of it. Like that would.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we don't want to do the Heidecker network. We get some, too many Nazis joining.
Okay. I'm not quite clear on it, but okay, that's fine.
Emma, does it make sense to you?
Yeah, it
It's
makes
just
sense.
a name.
It makes sense to me.
Said
Peacock.
Network?
Anyone?
Said network.
It's like Peacock with better content.
Said network. I would never do that. Anyways, Tim, I'm glad that we could put aside.
Yes,
some
I'd
of
like to
our,
propose a
our
rule.
pettiness.
I'd like to propose a rule. I'm currently in Toronto, and I say whenever we're sharing the same time zone, we have nice, cordial conversations like this one.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Seems
On
like
the
an
East
irrelevant
Coast-
rule. Doesn't matter really, but let's try to shoot for that.
Okay, that
Baby
sounds
steps.
good. That sounds good. And if you're ever in this general vicinity of where we are in Brooklyn, please let us know. And I mean, we'd still probably want to do it remote, but it would be nice to have you.
I'll sit back there with those goons back there with all the computers.
Oh yeah, you can see that. Yeah, that's not even. All right, Tim. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate your time today.
Bye, Tim. Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.